Hello and welcome to the Dawn of the Dead review. In case you don't know, Dawn of the Dead is a 1978, I want to say, George A. Romero movie. And for those who don't know, George A. Romero is perhaps the most influential zombie horror filmmaker of all time. Not only is Romero credited with basically inventing what we now know as the zombie, but he is also very consistently made, in his life anyway, he's passed away now, he died in 2017, in his life he was well known for being a very reliable director with a very clear style and a really keen eye for brutality, and this movie is no different. We're gonna jump right in, because when else am I gonna do it? And if you like this kind of content, feel free to subscribe and leave a like on the video. It really does mean the world to me. Yeah, so Dawn of the Dead is an excellent movie, no doubt. I think it boils down to 3 to 5 things it does masterfully, and this is more than just the traditional, like, oh, the cinematography looks good, blah blah blah. This is a lot more than that. What makes Dawn of the Dead so special is perhaps its most defining aspect, and that being its setting. Up until now, zombies were pretty much exclusively, Night of the Living Dead, which came out like 4 or 5 years before this movie. To everyone, zombies were a more gothic thing, almost like a vampire sort of thing. You know, you're in an abandoned mansion and there are zombies coming at you from all directions. But this movie did something brand new with the idea of the zombie, and that was make them normal people. This movie doesn't take place in a haunted mansion or an abandoned mansion like Dawn of the Dead does. This movie takes place, like Night of the Living Dead does. This movie takes place in a shopping mall, where pretty much everyone who's watching can relate to at some point being in. This movie has the zombies dressed in completely normal clothing, from the Buddhist monks you see asking for donations in the mall, to just normal mall walkers or men who are in flannels buying guns at the gun store. And that's, I think, one of the most important aspects of the film that makes it so scary. Throughout pretty much all of Romero's films, at some point in the runtime, he at some point asks who the real monster is, and this movie does it perfectly. The movie actually opens with a debate on whether or not these are still humans, and if the zombie virus or whatever it's supposed to be has turned them into not a human anymore. And this theme, if subtly, persists through the entire movie. This is most apparent to me when they go on at some point in the movie, they go on a zombie killing spree in the mall, and it is blaringly obvious here that you are supposed to not feel very good about this. This movie, again, really pushes we're the real monsters kind of thing. It shows the excess and the gluttony and greed of man when he's left in the element, and it shows the brutality that he's able to commit, or that man, I'm saying he, but just man as a whole, because this group acts as, well, every voice basically, that man can commit if he is convinced to. There are so many scenes where they're just like blowing zombies up and they're having a blast, and something that I noticed about this movie is that the only characters who end up dying are the ones who go too far. When they go past just trying to survive, when it turns into a pleasure to go and kill these zombies, or a rageful revenge mission to keep goods that weren't even theirs to begin with, that's when a character will die. And I thought it was a noticeably clever thing to do with the film. The next thing this movie does well is the setting. I know I said this is more than just the traditional things, but really, the mall setting, especially for it being the first ever, is unbelievably genius, and this was incredibly influential on the genre that is zombie movies now. This game is pretty much this movie acts as obvious groundwork for the game Dead Rising, or at least the original. It's the same idea, zombies in normal outfits just hanging out at a mega mall, as people go around and kill zombies because it's like morally okay kind of thing. I think it's excellent. And I think it's opened this already happened. It opened a whole avenue of film so that they could express the who's the real monster thing. And I know I keep saying that, but that's really what this movie hammers home. And I hate saying it so often, but we should probably jump into some more basic aspects of the film. As much as I enjoy deep diving into the film, we should talk about some basic things, because that is another place where the movie really strives. To start, I think the characters are brilliant. They're all written really interestingly. It's a very interesting group of people, and the actors that portray them are excellent. I can't say I remember any off the top of my head, but the 2 or the 3 guys are all incredible. They all play very different characters, and seeing the way they all interact as they go basically stir crazy in the mall is very interesting. And the only female of the group is also, in the same way, a brilliant character that's written incredibly well, because she feels like the only voice of reason at times. The cinematography and the effects. This is a Tom Savini movie. He did a couple of the Friday the 13th, especially. He did a couple of the Friday the 13th movies special effects, and it's noticeable in here. There are a couple scenes where zombies are literally tearing at people's innards and large and small intestines like that, and it's insane to look at. It really is a demonstration from Tom Savini as to how capable he really is when it comes to these kind of special effects. The score is brilliantly used and integrated really well into the movie. It's played, or it happens through what's basically a mall PA, just like mall ambient music, and they play it at certain times to really show how depraved these characters are. They play these really silly upbeat songs when characters are actively murdering zombies and like brutalizing them and treating them like less than human, which, at least to me, they are, but treating them with far less, not respect, but care than you'd expect them to. I love how high this movie stays for a very good while. A lot of it ends up feeling like more of a character study than a zombie movie. There's a good 40-minute span where there are just no zombies at all, and I think that's actually the most interesting part of the movie, where you just see how all these characters handle themselves in this basically fake world that they've hid out in to stop themselves from thinking about the real world that's happening outside and the zombies that are actively destroying the world. I think this film is also where the term zombie originated from. It might have been in Night of the Living Dead, I can't say for sure, but yeah, I don't think I really have much more to say about this movie. It is an absolutely iconic masterpiece, and don't tell anyone, but you can watch it for free on YouTube. That's where I watched it. And it's a shame that it isn't on any big streaming platforms, but if you have to rent this movie to watch it, absolutely go rent it, because to me, I enjoyed this movie more than Night of the Living Dead. But to be completely fair, I did not watch that movie in full. I fell asleep. Yeah, that's all I really have to say. He is a real goddamn visionary, that George A. Romero. Rest in peace, because you invented a genre that has made $1 quadrillion. So thank you, George A. Romero. Rest in peace, amigo. But yeah, that's all I have to say. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you have a wonderful day. And I will see you at the zombie mall. Brains. Like and subscribe to Ding!